Okay, everybody, it's Adrian, your lovely pink-haired cat girl with another Otome game route review. So we are still on Cupid Parasite. I am almost done though. So I have done, so far we've done Shelby, Ryuki, Gil, and this one is about Rob. So, the last two routes, I'm still not sure if there's a secret route or not. I don't think there's really a secret route. I think I was mistaken. The last two routes, which are Raul and Alan, you can't actually play them the first time you play through. You have to play someone. You have to play either Shelby, Ryuki, or Gil first. So they do kind of have a thing to where you can't just unlock them right away. But at the very least, you know, it's not like you have to play all of them. Now it is suggested by people, the people I've been using guides, to do a certain order, and they do suggest doing like Shelby, Gil, and Ryuki before you get to Raul or Alan. And after playing Raul, and I've started Alan, I very much understand why. It starts going more in depth, kind of dropping more hints and stuff, answering more questions, which is what I like. Let's see, gallery.
Hi! イベントビューへようこそ。
I don't think I want to do it.
神話について語り合おう。
It's been a minute since I've done this videos.
DA536E ギャラリーの僕を見て顔面偏差値上げたら。
Movie. So who is Raul? Raul, okay, come on, Shelby. Okay, Raul Aconite? Aconite? I don't know how to say his last name, but his name's Raul. He is a Sillywood actor, and he is very handsome. He is actually probably, just design-wise, my favorite. And he's kind of goofy and silly, like he's very nice, he's very charming, he's pretty friendly. And in Parasite House, when you guys are living together, he's kind of goofy. He's just like, whatever. But he is the Obsessed Parasite, and he is obsessed specifically with Roman Greek mythology. He does like other mythology too. He does seem interested in that, but very much Greek Roman mythology is his thing. He has a little club at a college he goes to, full of nerds, and it's kind of funny. He does take you to that club, and it's just like you see when a girl walks into the D&D store, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, there's a girl there." It's kind of how they act. It's very reminiscent. But it's like mythology club full of dudes who debate mythology and stuff, and Raul shines. And it's quite amusing when you see that scene. But yeah, so Raul has his little mythology club, but he's also, like, as much as he's obsessed with mythology, he is a Sillywood actor. He's a big actor, and he's an action actor, which is why he's a little muscular and hot. Romance acting, not so good at. Apparently, the way he acts is he has to experience something, and he's never experienced romance. He has experienced a lot of casual sex, and I mean a lot of casual sex, but no romance. So when he finally gets cast for a romance movie, they're like, "You're acting shit, man." So his manager is like, "Okay, you're gonna join Cupid Corporation, and you're gonna experience love so that you can act that way. But we don't want you to get married because you're a hot actor. It's too early in your career." And of course, you know, this pisses off you, Cupid, because why would you match him with anybody if he has no intention of being married? So that's kind of the general consistency of Raul. He's kind of goofy, he's kind of sweet, he's very much, like, has no problem touching people, because, you know, he's like, it's not that big of a deal. He's a Sillywood actor, and you kind of get a little view into the Sillywood actor world, which is like everyone's hooking up with everybody. Sex is no big deal, but romance is kind of lacking. Kind of sad, actually. So, yeah. Look more into details of his routes. So, Raul is a mythology freak. He also likes Alexander the Great, apparently. His parents were archaeologists, so he got to explore all over the world. And that's why he makes a comment that he, like, wrestled a shark. He did actually wrestle a shark. So he's had a very, very eventful life. Kinda odd. Yeah. that's wrong. Let's maybe pick a different subject. So, Raul's route gets a little bit on the spicier side than the others. I did enjoy it. So, you are hired as his romance acting coach. Because obviously you're not going to pair him up with your members because he has no intention of getting married and his manager doesn't want to get married. So you are not actually matching people during this route. Which kind of happens a lot actually in this game. And instead you are working specifically with Raul to teach him how to love. I think one of the first things you figure out is, you know, Sillywood actor, hooking up all the time, love the casual sex. Nah, romance not so much. And you're like, that's not love. And he's like, how would you know? Have you had sex? And you're like, no, actually, okay, I can't really debate you. I have not experienced these things you talk about. And you hook up with Raul. So that's why I'm like, it kind of gets a little spicy. But there's no love there, so Cupid doesn't lose her little bow and powers. And eventually you keep working on him and you tell him, okay, now that I've experienced casual sex, this is not love, and you need to stop that to be able to experience love. And you're trying to find people to fall in love with him, or that he could possibly fall in love with, which means they have to be like super nerds, right? They have to like mythology or they're not going to be the same. So it doesn't work out so great. And this entire time you're trying to set him up with other people, you're falling in love with him and he's falling in love with you. You do set him up with like some like people who are really into mythology. They all kind of turn him down though. And it's like, And to be fair, he's not really that interested in them either, because unbeknownst to himself, he's already in love with you. One of them does turn out to be a crazy stalker. One of the ladies you pair him up with turns out to be a crazy stalker, and she's stealing his ship and she tries to kill you. This is the first kind of like violence I feel like we've really experienced against the female lead in this game, which is kind of refreshing. And yeah, and you have to pull out your bow and use your lead and arrow to get her to leave you guys the fuck alone, and Raul finds out you're a god. But you know what? He's already in love with you, so it doesn't matter. But of course there's tension there, because it's like, does he love me because I'm a god? La la la. You also found out from Raul during all these adventures that when he was younger, he got saved from food poisoning from an oyster by Neptune. Well, who we think is Neptune. It's actually Lady Minerva. So, yeah. And over time, as stuff goes on, Raul's acting gets better. He's experiencing romance with you, which is kind of what the manager plotted. And his romance acting gets much, much better. It's like, oh, we actually believe you're in love with the female, like, main lead in the movie. Cool, okay. This movie is not gonna just crash and burn. So Raul has grown as an actor over the course of this game. And the manager fires you. Because she's like, hey, well, not really fired, but she ends the contract. She's like, Raul's doing better with his acting. You've done your job. Bye-bye. The manager's kind of sneaky. But unbeknownst to the manager, like, Raul loves you. So, you know, just because you're not his acting coach anymore doesn't mean you're not going to be in his life. And he takes you on an expedition to Greece to, you know, excavate a temple. An ancient Greek temple. Because, that's what he likes to do when he has a private jet. And he has a shit ton of money. All the men in this game are rich so far. I don't know about Alan, actually. I assume everyone else has been rich. Like, even Gil. Gil was secretly rich. And so, yeah, takes you to Europe, or Greece, specifically. Go to excavate a temple. You guys fall through a trap, essentially, into lower levels of the temple. And eventually you guys are going through, and you get hurt, and you guys almost die several times as you're kind of exploring this temple. And as soon as, like, you're about to, like, die and expire, like, Raul is calling out to the gods and stuff, like, save her. And Lady Minerva, your aunt, poofs you into Celestia. And this is why, now we're getting to heavy spoiler territory, and this is why you should play Shelby, Gil, and Ryuki's routes before this one. Lady Minerva is actually evil. And we finally have some questions of, it's kind of been hinted at that like she's been trying to help you fall in love, but it's kind of like, oh, okay. In the previous routes, it's just like, oh, she loves you. She's your aunt, right? Yeah. No. She needs you to fall in love, so you lose your Cupid bow so that she can use them instead. And also, you find out that the title of Cupid is a title that is passed down, so you are like the 87th Cupid, which is why all the stories, you don't remember any of them. And the 86th Cupid was killed by Lady Minerva when she was trying to get the bow from them. And Lady Minerva found out if you kill the previous Cupid, you don't actually get the bow. So she doesn't kill you. So that's kind of why your dad's kind of like, stay away from her. But all these like misconceptions and stuff could have been kind of deterred if they had maybe said, hey, don't do that. Or I don't know, maybe locked Lady Minerva away somewhere. So yeah, so Lady Minerva has been trying to get you to fall in love. It's kind of implied that I think she hired Clarice and Alan to help you fall in love, use their succubus and incubus powers, whatever, to help you fall in love. So I think this route didn't really 100% confirm that. I don't know if Alan's route will, so I'm waiting to see. But that's how it appears to me, based on all the stuff we've seen in all the routes so far. So yeah, so what you find out, Lady Minerva is trying to get the power of Cupid's bow because it can basically, it's super magical. And it can be used for more than just making people fall in love or fall out of love. So the other tidbit of the spoiler is that Raul is the reincarnation of Alexander the Great. And Alexander the Great is the guy that Lady Minerva was in love with a long time ago. That's her one true love. So this entire time, she has been trying to get you to fall in love so that you would fall in love with a mortal, lose your Cupid bow, God's power, and then she could swipe up the bow and use it on Raul so that she could turn him into Alexander the Great. Now, when Raul gets turned into Alexander the Great, he's like, I'm going to conquer the world. And then Lady Minerva does like little like weather storms. Well, not really little like huge ass weather storms. And it's like practically bringing about the apocalypse in the human world to like help Alexander take over. So my assumption is in all the other routes, when you lose Cupid's bow, that Lady Minerva isn't able to get a hold of it because we don't hear about the apocalypse happening, or Raul turning into Alexander the Great. So, but this one, she's actually there for when the Cupid's bow actually falls off you, and she's like, it's mine, haha, and then shoots Raul, turns him into crazy Alexander the Great. You go confront them, but you're mortal now because you've lost your Cupid powers. Which means like you can't really do anything other than talk at Raul and be like, you love me, come back to me, la. You also find out that Lady Minerva is kind of the reason Alexander the Great died. Like he dies of malaria, right? So supposedly she gave him a potion that was supposed to make him live forever and stay young forever, and instead it destroyed his immune system, and that's how he caught malaria. So how basically the route ends is he's like, he doesn't really kill, but he stabs Lady Minerva, and then Raul wrestles back control, and he turns back into Raul, and it gets played up as he was just doing some crazy promo. The best end route basically ends with you end up turning into a Sillywood actor too in the movie, and you guys win awards, and you love each other, and are like, huzzah! I think in the good route, the good end route. Well, so that's like the best end route, and the good, but not the best end route. You guys are in love, but you're not necessarily getting married right away. Well, you wait like a little bit and then you get married. You get a ring. This is the only route that I didn't see. You don't get really a wedding CG. You do get some spicy CGs. That's kind of spicy. I like that. But this is where you guys are the actors and you win awards, and then but there's not like a wedding CG like the other ones. Like you do get married in the good end, but there's no wedding CG. That kind of made me sad because I really like seeing Cupid in the wedding dress. I don't know, I really fucking like Cupid as a female lead for an otome game. She's just pretty. Very well designed. She's my favorite like female lead in any otome game so far I've played. But yeah, there are a couple bad ends, but you know, the one thing I do kind of like about this game is there are no CGs for the bad ends. So like if you don't like doing bad ends, you can just skip them. Anyway, so of all the routes I've done right now, Rawls is my favorite route. Again, I'm very heavily biased about like whether they answer questions and stuff. And he's just sweet, and I do think it's kind of funny that you just kind of hook up with him 5 seconds into the route. I thought that was kind of hilarious, not gonna lie. And then this is you as Cupid up in Celestia, right before he gets turned into Alexander the Great. Here's Alexander the Great, and you're shooting your arrows back at him to turn him back. Oh yeah, I guess I did forget to mention that. He doesn't necessarily just turn back by you talking, but you manage to get the arrows from Lady Minerva after he stabs her, and you're able to shoot him again, using both arrows and turn him back. So he's a sweetie. Oh yeah, also in the good end, you guys kind of like write books about mythology and you research stuff, because like you both know the truth now of what's like really happened. So you can kind of, now that you actually know the truth, you can find other stuff to like back it up. It's kind of cheating a little bit, but you know, whatever, it's fine. So it's super sweet. Yeah, I think this is my favorite route of all the ones I've done so far. I still haven't done Alan, so Alan seems to maybe answer some more questions. Seems like it's going to answer a lot more questions than Rawls even, but Rawls still answer a lot of questions. Plus he's a sweetie, he's hot. I'm a sucker for blonde guys. That's definitely a factor of me. Raw was made for me. So yeah, well that's it for this review. If you guys have been watching, thank you, I appreciate it. The next video that will come out will be the Alan route review. And then after that will just be a general review of the game as a whole. And the general review of the game as a whole is kind of just going to be like an overview. Like those aren't going to go into spoiler territory like I do in the rep reviews. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and see you next time. Bye-bye.